Well,
How are
good
you doing?
afternoon now,
Good to talk to
Commissioner
you.
Reddick. And thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member Crapo, for holding this hearing. And Commissioner Reddick, I just want to reiterate what many of my colleagues have said and thank the employees of the IRS who are, as you point out, doing double time, overtime, and really trying to work their way through an enormous amount of work. So we are grateful to them.
We appreciate those comments.
And I really want to emphasize that. I want to start with following up on something Senator Sass was asking you about, which was the employee retention tax credit and the general awareness around it. The December relief package contained bipartisan bill that I worked on with Senator Burr and others to provide the employee retention tax credit to businesses that receive Paycheck Protection Program assistance. The relief package also directed the IRS and Treasury to raise awareness of the tax credit among small businesses. And so you've talked a little bit about some of the things you're doing, but we are still hearing from small businesses and preparers that they don't know much about it. So how can Congress or members of this committee work with you to increase the outreach and the awareness generally?
I think the responsibility is ours to do the outreach, and it's not ours alone. I mean, I appreciate your comments that, for assistance from Congress, but also with respect to, particularly local community groups. Now, the pandemic has put us in touch with more local community groups, churches, social organizations, whatnot, than we ever had access to. So they're now, if you will, on our outreach campaigns and participating. We have folks on the ground. We participate when local organizations have events. We participate on the ground. Could we do better? I believe that we could. Do I have an idea where we're have a deficit? I don't.
Yeah, so just because my time is limited, my issue is not that you guys aren't doing a lot.
No, I get it.
It's just that what I'm hearing is
What can you
people
do to
aren't
help?
aware of it, right? So we want our small businesses to be able to use this employee retention tax credit, and we want them to know about it. So let's move on to another question, but this is an invitation from me, and I'm sure other members of the committee would be eager if there are ways that we can partner with all of you. It would be, I think, to in everybody's interest, our constituents' interest, to get it done. I want to turn to the issue of the backlog and unprocessed 2019 tax returns. You have heard a lot about it from members of this committee. I sent you a letter in January urging the IRS to clear the backlog of unprocessed 2019 tax returns, and obviously I've been hearing from constituents, as all my colleagues have. You have discussed in your answer to Senator Portman and others the steps that the IRS is taking to address this backlog. But could you explain how or if IRS is working to mitigate the impact of unprocessed returns on affected taxpayers?
We're doing everything we can to process, which is not the impacts on them. It's actually processing to try to get to their point sooner. And in terms of mitigation, there was an example given where we issued a CP 59 notice saying, you didn't file your return. That notice was a mistake, absolutely should not have gone out. I think we issued about 278,000. We found out about that. We notified Congress. We corrected that. We issued corrected notices. So, we do have issues. Those are not mitigation. They're making it worse, right?
Right. I mean, what I'm thinking about is examples of somebody, they can't close an estate. They can't get a mortgage. And if there are ways that the IRS can say, yes, this person has actually filed the return we're processing, something like that would help the taxpayer be able to get on with the rest of their business, right?
Actually, so we have 1.7 million returns in process that came in before January 1. Those, our system is aware of that our system has those returns, which I think is critical. That's not always been the case.
Okay.
And so that would be that. People, we have a lot of avenues for folks, for example, the estate or the mortgage or whatnot. Through the pandemic, we were doing a lot of things for folks in those situations. And if you become aware of that, I would appreciate it. Let our staff work with your staff. We should be able to find those and resolve them.
Okay, thank you. I also want to thank you for acknowledging the impact that the IRS's dependence on legacy IT has had. I've been working to reduce reliance on outdated IT systems at a number of federal agencies, including the IRS. They cost more to maintain than newer systems, while they also deliver worse service. So how would reducing your reliance on outdated IT systems at the IRS help reduce the issues with processing tax returns, prevent future backlogs, and I assume it would save you money over time?
I would assume that many of you probably woke up sometime in the night during 2020 wondering whether we were going to be delivering the next day.
Yeah.
So one thing, it'll get a lot of people a lot more sleep to have the reliability of our systems. Our systems work, they operate, but unfortunately, we had to build through the years systems on systems on systems, and ultimately the foundation can't hold what we're building on those systems. So the ability for the IRS to be agile, to be nimble, to deliver services, to deliver in the enforcement arena, both internally and externally, is where we're headed. And I think collectively, including members of the committee, I think we all agree it's what the people of this country deserve.
Okay, thank you. I look forward to working with you on that, and I thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll ask you another question about the employee retention tax credit for startups and the guidance coming
Sure. I appreciate it.
on the record. Thank you.
I think my